I should never have entered that room. If I had known what was waiting for me there, I would have chosen to sleep outside under the moonlight, even if the mosquitoes drank every drop of my blood. But that night, my ignorance became my greatest mistake. I had traveled to my mother's village for a burial. The compound was crowded, uncles, aunties, cousins, children running everywhere. Beds were scarce, mats were taken, and the nights grew late. By the time I finished helping with firewood and washing plates, I was too tired to care where I would sleep. That was when I saw it. At the far end of the family compound, there were 7 rooms in a row, built with mud walls but roofed with corrugated iron sheets. Every room was occupied, except one. The 7th room. Its wooden door stood slightly open, as though it had been waiting for me. I could see an empty mat inside, folded neatly in the corner. My heart leapt with relief. Finally, a place to rest. I asked one of my cousins, Obi, why is nobody sleeping there? Obi's eyes widened. That room. Forget it. Don't enter. Come, share with me, we will manage. But I was exhausted and stubborn. There is space. Why should we squeeze like sardines when a whole room is empty? Obi only shook his head and muttered under his breath, I have warned you. I laughed at him. Superstitions never scared me. I carried my small bag, pushed the creaky door, and stepped inside. The air in the room was different. Cold. Heavy. The mud walls were cracked, and in the corner, a spider had woven a thick web. Still, it was better than the hard ground outside. I spread my wrapper, lay down, and closed my eyes. At first, everything was quiet. The distant sound of drums from the burial wake keep, the laughter of drunk relatives outside, the occasional barking of dogs. Then, slowly, the night changed. The drums faded. The laughter died. I opened my eyes. The room was darker than before. Not just dark, thick with darkness, as though something had swallowed the moonlight. Then I heard it, footsteps. Inside the room. My breath caught. I sat up quickly, my eyes darting everywhere. The door was still shut. No one had entered. Yet the footsteps continued, circling the mat. Tap, tap, tap. I whispered, who is there? No answer. Only a soft hiss, like air escaping from the walls. The footsteps stopped right beside me. I could feel a presence towering over me, though my eyes saw nothing but blackness. And then, slowly, the mat shifted beneath me, as if invisible hands were tugging at it. I jumped up, my heart hammering. Who is here? That was when I saw it. A shadow. Not mine. It stretched across the wall, long and twisted, its head touching the ceiling though no figure cast it. The shadow began to move, its limbs bending in ways no human body should. It lifted one arm and pointed at me. I froze. Then, in a voice that seemed to crawl from the earth itself, it whispered. You should not be here. I ran to the door and yanked it open, but the compound outside was gone. Instead, I stood before a long, endless corridor of 7 doors. Each door looked like the 7th room, identical, lined in a row. The air was silent, heavy, pressing against my ears. I turned to run back inside, but the door behind me had vanished. The shadow was still with me. It slid across the floor, moving without legs, circling me. Choose, it hissed. One of the 7, or remain forever. I staggered back, trembling. Each door looked the same, plain wood, mud walls, no mark to tell them apart. My hands shook as I reached for the nearest handle. The shadow drew closer. Choose. I scrambled to another door, pulled it open. Behind it was a pitch-black pit, the smell of rotting flesh rising like smoke. I slammed it shut, gagging. The shadow's voice deepened. 1 door leads out. 6 lead deeper. My legs felt weak. Sweat soaked my body. My lips quivered as I whispered a prayer. God, please, not like this. I closed my eyes, spun around, and grabbed a random handle. The shadow laughed, its voice echoing like drums in a graveyard. The door creaked open. And suddenly, I was back. Back in the compound. Back on the mat. The morning sun was streaming through the small window, children were laughing outside, and the world seemed normal again. I sat up slowly, my body still shaking, my throat dry as dust. Obi entered the room just then. The moment he saw me, his face turned pale. You slept here, he whispered, his voice trembling. I nodded weakly. He took a step back, eyes wide with horror. Then, you have been chosen. Obi's words crawled into my ears and refused to leave. You have been chosen. I stared at him, my chest rising and falling too fast. Chosen for what? He stepped back, his eyes darting to the cracked walls of the room as if they were listening. His lips trembled before he whispered. For the shadow. The moment he said it, the air in the room grew heavier. Even in broad daylight, I felt it, like someone invisible had entered and was watching me. That whole day, I could not rest. I walked among my cousins, helped with cooking, even laughed when the elders told stories under the mango tree. But inside me, fear spread like poison. Whenever I turned my head, I thought I saw something moving in the corner of my eye, a ripple of blackness, a flicker of a shadow where no one stood. By evening, my body was trembling though the sun was still shining. But my ears were tuned to something else. A whisper. Low. Cold. Coming from nowhere. Tonight, we meet again. I tried not to sleep. I fought it with everything, washing my face, humming old songs, even pinching my arm until it hurt. But when the clock reached midnight, my eyelids betrayed me. Darkness swallowed me. And I was back. The corridor. 7 doors. The endless silence pressing on my ears. And then, the shadow. It rose slowly, taller than the walls, its arms dragging across the floor like ropes. Its voice scraped against the walls when it spoke. Welcome back, chosen one. One by one, the doors began to rattle. The first creaked open, revealing a child with hollow eyes, giggling as worms crawled from his mouth. The second burst apart, spilling black water that smelled of rot. The third swung wide, and I saw myself inside, another version of me, weeping blood. The shadow circled, laughing without lips. 6 doors will keep you. 1 will free you. Choose, or remain mine forever. My knees trembled. My heart begged me to run. But I remembered my grandmother's words, spirits feed on fear. If you stand your ground, they weaken. So I clenched my fist and forced my voice not to break. You have no power over me. The corridor shook violently. The doors banged open and shut like thunderclaps. From the ceiling, something black dripped, sizzling as it hit the floor. The shadow lunged forward, its face stretching, splitting into dozens of screaming mouths. You dare defy me, it roared. I staggered back, but I refused to scream. I whispered a prayer under my breath, every word pouring from my chest like fire. God, show me the way. Deliver me from this darkness. The shadow twisted in rage, hissing louder. Then, I saw it. At the far end of the corridor, one door was glowing. Not faintly this time, but bright, golden light seeping through the cracks, warm like the rising sun. I ran. The shadow shrieked, its arms stretching, claws scraping the walls. No. You belong to me. It lunged, grabbing my ankle, and for a moment, cold fire shot through my veins. I fell hard, my palms scraping against the floor. The glowing door flickered as if fading. Stay down, the shadow hissed. Die here. But something inside me rose, stronger than my fear, stronger than its grip. I shouted, my voice echoing like thunder. I do not belong to you. With every strength left in me, I kicked free and leapt to the door. I pulled. Light exploded, brighter than 1,000 suns. The shadow screamed, its body tearing apart, its form burning into smoke. It twisted, shrieked, begged, and then shattered into nothing. I woke on the mat. The sun was streaming gently through the window. The room was no longer heavy. Obi rushed in the moment he heard me stir. His eyes widened in shock. You survived. I stood slowly, my heart still pounding, but with a calmness I had never felt before. Not just survived. I defeated it. He stared at me, his mouth hanging open. No one has ever. No one. I smiled faintly. Then let it be known, the curse of the 7th room is broken. From that day, no shadow ever haunted the room again. Children played near it without fear. The elders whispered my name in awe. The 7th room, once feared, became just another room in the compound. Weeks later, back in the city, I sat on my bed, smiling. I defeated not because I was strong, but because there is a higher power up there. Be careful how you move around, especially in a new environment.